Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Brian Corbin, and today I want to talk to you about how to write a proposal paper. First of all, why should we even propose something? Well, there are numerous problems all around us. There are problems in our schools, problems in our businesses, problems in our jobs, problems with drug addiction. There are problems everywhere in society. They're everywhere we look. There are also things that are going well in society that could be made better. And a proposal paper allows you even to discuss those kinds of things. Humanity is all about improvement, and learning how to propose ideas will help you be a better leader and more efficient thinker in solving some of the problems, challenges, and situations that society faces. So let's talk about the proposal. You want to figure out what the problem is, of course, and you're going to want to explain the need or the problem in a concrete and memorable way. You're going to want to appeal to the interests and values of the decision makers. So whatever your proposal is, you're going to want to make sure that the people that could actually look at it and evaluate it will be interested in it. You want to show how the need or the problem affects society, business, or the group in general. And in your proposal, you want to predict consequences and even evaluate what the consequences might be of a potential proposal that you put forth. Some key features of a proposal include a well-defined problem, in other words, one that's narrow and focused. You're not going to tackle world hunger or AIDS or cancer in a short proposal. Your proposal has to be action-oriented and focused on the future. You need to have a focused solution to the problem and a description of how the solution can be implemented and also whether or not it's feasible. The proposal should address the opposition, and of course, it should be audience-centered. You, of course, need a problem statement to your proposal. So what are you proposing? What is the problem? Why is there a need for the problem to even be addressed? And why should anyone care about the problem whatsoever? These three questions will help you come up with a good problem statement. As with any piece of writing, you always want to think about your audience and who they are. So for this paper, you want to ask yourself, who will benefit from your proposed work? Who would actually review the proposal and either accept or reject it if this were going to someone beyond this class? Who are the groups that will benefit from the proposed idea? And what will be the overall impact of your proposal? Also, what would the opposition say to your proposal as well? Consider that too. I just mentioned the opposition. What would the objectives to the work or idea proposed be? Okay, what are the goals of your project? What specifically will result if the work is done in the way that it's proposed? This is important too. What have other organizations or entities done to solve similar challenges or problems? You want to briefly note the pitfalls that others may have experienced and discuss what you will do differently, and note that in your proposal. Don't make it a huge part of your proposal, but briefly note those ideas. That will lend credibility and show that you've considered other possibilities as you write your paper. Now, of course, with any proposal, you want to show how the work will be completed. How will it be done? What methods will be used to solve or address the problems to achieve the objectives that you've defined? Who is going to do the work, and how are you going to know these people are qualified to do the work? So think about these things when you write your proposal. You'll want to, of course, show that there's validity to your proposal, and a particular action should be taken because doing so is right according to some value, assumption, or belief that you share with your audience. Or you can argue from a consequence, a particular action should not be taken because doing so will lead to certain consequences that you and your audience believe are good or bad or blah, 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 that kind of idea. Or arguing from a precedent or an analogy, a particular action should not be taken or should be taken because doing so is similar to what was done or not done in another case, which proved to be successful or unsuccessful. So you just want to prove why your ideas are valid and worthwhile. I'm going to provide some questions here to help you understand how to focus your topic. So you want to first ask yourself, does the problem really exist, and how can you tell? What caused the problem? Are there any immediate causes of the problem? Any deeper causes? Is the problem caused by a flaw in the system? Maybe poor behavior on the part of individuals? Maybe there's a lack of resources, or maybe there's just plain incompetence in your city, state, or government, or business that you're talking about. What is the history of the problem, and why hasn't it been solved up to this point? What are the bad effects of this problem, and how are they affecting the organization or community? How is the problem hurting members of the community or group in general? You want to make sure that you ask yourself, what are the goals of the group that are endangered by the existence of this problem? Does the problem raise any moral or ethical questions? Who in the community or group is affected by the problem? You want to be as specific as possible for this question, of course, all questions. Who is seriously affected, maybe not affected at all, and maybe just partially affected? Does anyone benefit from its existence? Because remember, sometimes problems do benefit people. What similar problems exist in the same community or group, and how can you distinguish your problem from those? Next, you're going to really want to try and focus the proposal as much as possible. You're going to want to ask yourself, how will the proposal benefit the audience? And how well does the audience understand the problem? You'll need to give quite a bit of context probably in your opening paragraphs to explain what the problem is so the audience has a good understanding of what it is you're talking about and what they need to know. What constraints will influence the audience's response to the proposal? Think about time, money. Money is always a big one. Limits of facilities or equipment or supplies, that kind of stuff. What solution would ultimately solve the problem? What would even be a daring solution? Think outside the box. What would be a conservative solution that most people could probably agree upon? And how could you really get most people on board with your idea? You'll also want to ask yourself, does the proposed solution really solve the problem? You know, a lot of times students come up with great ideas, but the solution doesn't really solve the problem, so think about that. Ask yourself, can the problem be solved more simply without disturbing the status quo? And is this proposed solution really practical? Does it stand a chance of actually being enacted? And what would be some unforeseen positive and negative consequences of the proposal? Because remember, anytime you make a change, there's going to be positive things that happen and negative things as well. Here are some final tips to help you do well on your proposal paper. You want to make sure you demonstrate the worthiness and relevancy of your chosen topic. You want to make sure your position's clear, that you've defined your terms, that you've identified and explained the problems or the problem and you've given context. You want to make sure you've explored past solutions. You want to make sure you know why you're writing the paper, why it's clear. It's clear to you, it'll be clear to the audience. You want to keep the proposal manageable. Do not try and tackle something at the federal level or across multiple companies. Keep it at the state level or below or within one company or organization. And, you know, just do your best. I know this is a very tough paper, but I promise you, if you think through the ideas and you give context and you really think about the challenges, this will make you a better critical thinker and you will be successful. For more information on how to write the proposal paper, please refer to the instructions in the course and possibly the syllabus. Thank you very much.